Our government has sold the country to terrorists. That's what it is. Nigeria as a country has been sold to terrorists. It is not coincidence. It's real. We should be scared, very scared. We're talking about international terrorism now. These are not homegrown terrorists. That's why when I got the news about the conviction yesterday, I was not actually very cheered, right? It's good to give closure to some of the families of the deceased, right? But then when I heard that Shabab, I got more scared. These are international terrorists. So that means their sponsorship is not from Nigeria. So we have people being sponsored, trained in Somalia, brought into Nigeria. So it appears as if Nigeria has become a hot cauldron. So the country is under siege. And it's bigger than what we are thinking about. We think it's just those guys we see in the bush. No, it's not just those guys with cattle. It's not them. It's way beyond them.
First 4 years, somebody did nothing. You want to vote for him again. People are suffering. Then what do you want to come back and do now? What we have is a broken down system.
You want to guide it. Let me give you one of the biggest problems we're having on the 15th. 2 days before the strike, there's a woman selling beans and bread. Normally, I take home. It's normally maybe 1,000, 1,200. But for the 2 days before the strike, she was making 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. She thought there was a market boom. So instead of saying it, probably to give her information, to tell the buyer or to tell any of the teachers that there are some certain people that comes here to buy, she thought it's only a business that is booming. Probably they are building some certain things, factory or any other thing around that area. Unfortunately, it turned out to be that those people were doing what is called surveillance. So when they strike 2 days later, that's the time they say, these people that were buying these beans and bread, worth of 10,000, 15,000. So this is the intention. This is the so you can now see that at times, information is also very, very, very vital.
When they kill our soldiers, they wear the uniform of our military and armed forces and go to what is called a mediation, arrangement with government, bodies to say they are mediating with this. In Katsina, this bandit wore the uniform of this assistant commissioner that died on duty in action. And he wore his uniform and came with his gun to the mediation and went home without consequences. So you are now situating it with the situation of the state. Of course, they are doing it. They are on social media. We know their handles. They don't even care to cover their faces. They send notices and they come on the day of the notice and they execute. Now they are overrunning brigades, not brigades in urban areas, brigade in the theater of war. And they overrun the brigade. They kill our generals like every other day. Our colonels, we are missing the best of our assets because, first of all, we don't have the decisiveness to ensure that we do the needful in terms of the resources.
School, 20,000 schools in Nigeria have been shut in the last few months because of these kidnapping attacks. Correct. 18 million Nigerian school children are not going to school, according to the UN. That is the highest number anywhere in the world.
Because
You're proud of that?
No, I'm not proud of that because of insecurity. But the measures we're taking now, we're restoring them back to their schools. And some of them whose schools are located in places where there are no governed spaces, we're bringing them back into towns. So when you give out your stats or your opinion about an issue, also incorporate this fact so that the viewer will look at, yes, there is an obvious fact that because of the policy decision that it brought kind of untold hardship, but also we are making progress in this regard.
So I agree with you. That's a fair point. We should look at things in the round, and you pointed out things you've done well. But then you need to do the same thing. Do you accept then that the poverty numbers are going in the wrong direction?
Yeah, sure. It's like
that's the crucial one for a lot of Nigerians.
No, but numbers don't lie.
141 million people in 2026 are going to be living in poverty in Nigeria. 62% of the population.
Then I explain to you why. Context matters.
I agree context matters. It's a failure. What you did produced 62% of poverty. Last question from me, Daniel. I know you don't trust any polls, but most Nigerians, I think, would agree. The ones that are in your favor, of course. But most polls show that Nigerians are very unhappy with politics, with the government, with the establishment. They're very unhappy about corruption. President Tinubu campaigned under the slogan, "It's my turn," which many critics would say is symbolic of the Nigerian establishment, that people just hand out jobs between themselves. You said in 2022 that Tinubu made the presidency about himself when, quote, it's not about the people. Can we end the show in agreement that what's happening in Nigeria right now is not about the people?
After he won the election, he made it clear by his conduct, action, and executive act that it is about the interests of the Nigerian people.
But he ran on, it's my turn. Should really
He
run
actually did not run. It was a statement he made before the primaries. Your facts are not correct.
You criticized him for it, Daniel.
Yes, and I changed my mind. Do you change your mind in life?
I do change my mind. Remember, I moved from the BBC to Sky to
Thank you.
MSNBC.
Thank you.
On that note of agreement,
Thank
we will
you.
have to leave the show there. It was an issue for you a few years ago. It's suddenly not an issue when you go to work for the man. How convenient.
The court has held the allegation that was put up in the petition against him could not be substantiated.
Well, the US hasn't held that. And in fact, the US court tried to release all the files, and the president rushed to stop them from doing that. Innocent people, is that what they do?
What stopped them from releasing it?
Is innocent
What
people?
stopped them from releasing it?
It's ongoing in the courts.
I'm glad you said ongoing.
But
So let's wait until when it's...
Do innocent people try and stop files from being released about themselves?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm sure the Nigerian people
privacy. Do you... I'm coming. If a case is taken to court against you, even when you know you are not liable, will you be comfortable that the order of court will permit the release of privacy issue relating to you?
Yeah, if people think I have drug money in my bank and I don't, then yes, I would do everything I can to.
Unfortunately, people do not.
Tinubu is not just super rich. It's what he does with his wealth. In 2019, 2 armored money trucks, bullion vans, were seen going into his house, coming out of his house. Where did that money go?
No. Point. Did you see the money?
Can you find me a country in the world where the sitting president, the US government seized $500,000 from one of their Chicago bank accounts after investigators found probable cause that the funds were proceeds of drug trafficking, specifically heroin. Tinubu gave up the money in a settlement. He was never indicted of a crime. But when a US judge last year ordered the release of all of the documents by the FBI, Tinubu went to court to prevent it. What does he have to hide?
The minute a matter is taken to court by right, you have the right to send your lawyer. The fact that you send a lawyer to defend your matter or to go against a motion that is filed before the court is not a conclusive proof of acceptance of the fact
he's obviously got something
that was
to hide.
taken to the court.
He gave up $500,000, which were probably the proceeds of drug trafficking.
I'm glad you used the word probably, but it is not. Go ahead.
You said in 2022 that this drug case, quote, conclusively concluded not in favor of Bola because he had to forfeit that money. There is still a cloud around drug-related activity.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Not a conclusion.
Okay, so the cloud's still there for the long